Oh, there we go.
All right, everybody, welcome to St. Pete Time Bank podcast. I am here with Albert Risemburg. Am I saying that right?
That's correct.
Okay. This is Ramona Brayboy. I'm sweating because it's hot outside and I have coconut oil on, and that's what's going on. Okay, so welcome. So, if you have not already, make sure you check in to the Facebook pages and groups and stpetetimebank.org. So, here I want to introduce my lovely guest, Albert Risenberg. What are some things the people should know about you? How would you like to be introduced? Introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, I've been in the time bank since its inception. I don't know how many years ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And I was on the in the. I'm also a member of the Tampa Bay Time Bank,
Okay.
and I've used the time bank a lot in my time, not overly so, but mostly offering stuff, but also receiving. One of the ways that I use the time bank is with my yoga class. I have a yoga class that I teach. I've been doing it for about 9 years now on Gulfport Beach. It's a very popular class. And of course, it's a donation class, but I also accept time bank
Cool.
hours, which is a nice thing, I think. And there
Mm-hmm.
have been some people that have taken me up on that. It's kind of an interesting, thing. I don't really ask for anything, but if someone wants to offer something, we do that. Also, at my home, and that's called Moon Landing Yoga. My whole vibe is the moon landing and that's a little bit of a story in itself. But my home, I call it the moon landing, and I have a
Oh,
small
it's the moon landing.
the moon
Clarity,
landing.
y'all. It's the moon landing.
That's
That's
it.
his house.
Moon landing is my house, and of course, I lead moon landing yoga and my nursery. I have a small nursery at my home called the Moon Landing Garden and Apiary. I'm also a beekeeper, and I have a food forest at my home, growing a lot of food. And well, you've been there, Ramona.
I
Yeah, a
have.
lot of
Yeah, it is a food
it
forest,
is a food
right?
forest, and I'm growing a lot of food and medicines. I make a lot of medicines there, and I mean, if I had to at this point, because of the maturity of my trees and such, I think I could probably go without eating outside of my house. But
Mm,
I do enjoy some treats, and
okay.
but most of the food that I eat, and my girlfriend as well, Laura Aldaney, uh,
Yeah, shout outs to Laura
yeah,
Oldini.
really comes from my garden, and or from the dumpster. Most of what we eat comes from either one or the other.
Wow.
And Yeah, and it really helps out, and I kind of label myself as a freegan or a fruitarian. If it's free,
Mm,
I'm eating it,
okay, I
and
know that's right.
within
I was just
reason.
thinking that. I was like, if it's free, it's for me.
Yeah, well, there you go. I haven't thought of that one yet, but and I mean, within reason. One of the problems with dumpster diving is the that sometimes there's stuff in there that I shouldn't be eating, like junk food. That I
Mm-hmm.
try to avoid that stuff. I definitely never buy it,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it's hard. Especially the things that are thrown away are just in perfect condition, especially places like rolling oats where it's just
Mm.
it's even organic.
Really? That's
So
my story. So let
yeah.
me find out.
Well, when you go to Aldi's or you go to Rolling Oats or even Winn
Mm-hmm.
Dixie, you always go to the dumpster first. You may, that's really you're definitely gonna bring something home.
Yeah.
And So yes, that's kind of what I do. And but this was my life here since I've been here I've been in St. Pete about 10 years. I live in Gulfport now.
That's
Um,
right. Gulfportian of the year. Is that
yes,
how they say it?
I was the first Gulfportian of the year
The first one.
two
Oh my
years
goodness.
ago, and actually the person that is now is just like, I don't remember her name, but she's way more than I am, but
Okay.
it's okay.
Look
You
at
know what?
that. You showing love.
But I'm doing stuff.
You're doing stuff. You were the
Yes,
first. So
yes,
hello.
and I do make a difference in people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, right before this, I had a customer at my nursery, and we had fun. They came. Laura says that I probably he says I'm a really good salesman, and I'm not I don't take advantage of people. I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned it several times. I said, please, I'm not pressuring you into buying anything. But the thing about my nursery is whatever I'm offering, I have it there in full size, maturity, so they can
Mm-hmm.
see what it's going to be, and that really
Okay.
makes a difference,
Yeah.
so people can see what they're getting into, and
This
that
is what you're getting, but this is what it will become.
exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, I kind of discourage people from buying things that they come to buy because it's really probably not a good idea for them in their situation. But we had a lot of fun, and of course, I gave them things for free, and they got to see plants that they had never seen fruiting before, and they had a really good time. They had a couple of kids with them, and it was a fun experience. And honestly, the nursery probably takes up a lot of my time, but I really enjoy mostly the people that I meet. And of course, I donate a lot of plants as well to good causes. And of course, when if you're welcome to come by and shop for plants for the food forest. I'm happy to offer.
Look at my face.
Yes, especially stuff. There's always a lot of stuff that I have extra of that just needs to be planted,
Yes.
And of course, right now I have a number of things in the summer. Things grow really fast here in the summer. So especially when the
summer
rains,
'tis the season.
It really, especially for trees and fruit trees, especially. And I have a lot of extra papayas. I have some neems that I'm happy to.
Neem, oh my gosh!
You really only want one. One neem is probably enough. They get quite large.
It's really good for dry skin. If you have eczema, you better get into some neem oil.
In Africa they call it the tree of 40 cures. This is a miracle tree. It's not much for eating. It's mostly for medicine. The bark is especially good for making tooth powder for your mouth. The leaf, if you can eat a leaf every day, it's really going to benefit you. But it's so hard and it's so bitter. So what most people do is they take it
smells. It's very savory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely.
It smells like cooking some food, but I don't know what food it is.
But most people will have it through a tincture. Or what African people and people from India do is they'll use the branches about the size of your diameter of your finger, and they'll chew the end of it up to make it into kind of a brush, and that's how they brush their teeth. And then every day you might cut off that end. You have to keep it in the fridge, or if you have a tree, you can have it fresh every day.
Okay.
And you brush your teeth, and you don't need anything more than what's in that. You're getting the essence from inside the branch.
Really? That's it? That's all you need, a neem tree
ultimately, that's all you really need to brush your teeth is the neem tree.
So how long does it take from planting a neem tree to being able to use the tree branches to brush my teeth?
So, from a seedling that I have, and I have seedlings, probably the oldest ones I have are about 6 months old.
Okay.
So my tree that I probably planted a seedling about that size, and it's probably, I don't know, maybe 25 feet high now. And that was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. So it can grow that fast. Now, my soil is really good soil because I make a lot of soil. So
with your composting.
Yeah, exactly. Composting, and of course my worms as well.
And your worms.
Yeah, I also am a worm farmer as well as a beekeeper. But I also use seagrass a lot as a mulch, and when that breaks down, that adds a lot of minerals to the soil. So that makes the growing quicker. Now, Laura, my girlfriend Laura, has a neem that she got the same time I did, right? And hers is a fraction of the size, and so it depends. So that's the answer I have to give you. If you give the tree what it wants, it's going to give you what you want. That's what I say to people.
That's right.
And that's really the reality of it. But right now, with my tree now, you could brush your teeth till the day you die and you'd never run out of branches.
We got to check out more information about your trees and how they can check out what your events are. Do you have any events coming up where people can learn in your moon landing?
My yoga classes are Fridays and Sundays at 10 in the morning, and then the new and the full moons in the evening. And you can always look that up on my Facebook page, Moon Landing Yoga. And that's usually where I put my events that I'm going to have.
Okay.
The other thing that I do is I'm also the garden grandpa.
Yes.
And so I do a class the first Wednesday of every month at the Gulfport Library, where I teach kids, and you can be an older kid too to be there. You can be a
You could
grown
be a
up.
big
You
kid.
can.
Okay.
And I teach them about different things about nature. And so the next one coming up is probably the most popular one of the year. It's the Florida fruit garden, Grandpa, where I bring in Florida, all kinds of tropical Florida fruits, and
Exciting.
we eat fruit and talk about it. And hopefully, I'm trying to get my dear friend Lev Pazikoff, who runs the
Okay. Yeah, I
Florida
know,
Fruit
Lev.
Co-op, to come. He's supposed to come. If nothing else, I've ordered a fruit box from him, a CSA from him, so we'll have some
Yes.
really good exotics. And of course, I'll bring stuff from my garden as well. And
Yes.
that's been such a fun class. I've been doing it for about coming on 2 years now. And of course, I bring bees in every year. We do
Wow.
composting earthworms. We do, I teach about the fall garden, so I try to do hands-on projects with the kids because that's what they love the most.
That's right.
But we've talked about water, we've talked about birds, we've talked about roots.
Love it.
I try to find something new to talk about, and there's a core group of about 10 to 20 kids that seem to come all the time. I've had some guest speakers. My friend Sheena came and she spoke about
shout out to Sheena.
Oh my God, can you not love her enough? My goodness, she actually brought the news team. We had the News 9 filmed when Sheena came as a guest speaker, and people are saying that I'm kind of like the Mr. Rogers a little bit.
Yeah.
And they even call me the Mr. Rogers of yoga, which is interesting as well, which of course, I'm taking all I can get from that.
Okay.
I love that comparison.
Hey, neighbor.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I really love, bringing in guests at my garden. Grandpa, I had my friend Carrie came in and he spoke about fossils in Florida, and he did a wonderful job. We brought chickens in one time. That was real fun. And so, yeah, I'm trying to mix it up for the kids to give them an idea. And the fruit tasting one is so wonderful. Last year when we did it, moms and dads came up to me afterwards and said, my child wouldn't eat a piece of fruit until you offered it to him.
Wow.
And they were eating some really exotic stuff,
I know, that's right.
And it was a lot of fun.
I can attest to one of them, the custard apple. That is something I received in Lev's box. Shout out to Lev.
Yep. Oh, so
he supported the
box.
Sunshine Fresh Market. Yes. Yeah. So that's a very interesting one because it has a seed in it and it peels kind of like garlic, and it tastes kind of like a custardy apple.
Yeah, like a baked apple.
Yeah.
It's so, the tropical fruits are so much different than the apples and oranges that we're used to. And, and same thing with the tropical spinaches. Everybody's like, well, it's spinach. What kind of spinach is it? It's not really spinach,
Yeah.
Just like a custard apple is not an apple at all,
Oh,
but it's similar.
Right.
It's got
the
size of an apple, and it kind of has that flavor of a baked apple, like a custard apple. So that's why they call it that, because people want their familiar names. And
so Suriname spinach, is that
Suriname spinach is not a real spinach.
Really?
Absolutely not. And
so
longevity spinach is not a real spinach.
Okay.
None of them are spinaches.
That's what what it looks like. So that's what we call it.
They're tropical spinaches, and they have a similar flavor to spinach and a similar texture,
but it's not that genealogy.
It's not. And you can grow them in the summer, you can grow them year round.
So what's the Suriname spinach genealogy? What would you call it if it's not a spinach?
We call it a tropical spinach. It's actually a weed is what it is.
Really?
People try to get rid of it.
Wow.
Just like purslane.
Like purslane. Okay.
Purslane is one of the most nutritious plants on earth. I mean, it's just probably second or third to moringa, and it just
really second or third to moringa.
And people are trying to get rid of that left and right. Well, it does kind of some of these plants, and Suriname spinach is one of them as well. They will take over your garden beds. You're better off just planting them outside of your garden beds in the wild,
like a ground cover.
They're not more like,
but they're more like a hedge, though, right?
Exactly, more like a bushy kind of a thing. And purslane a little smaller than a bushy. Suriname spinach can get quite large, but those will just grow all year long. Well, the purslane will just come out in the warm months, but it always comes back the next year. And Suriname, and both of them, Suriname spinach and purslane, will throw seeds out, so they're constantly reseeding themselves, and so you'll always have nutritious food if you have those two. Now, there's other spinaches too, longevity spinach. There's Okinawa spinach, Malabar
Egyptian
spinach, Egyptian spinach. Egyptian spinach is one of my favorites.
Okay,
Also, only in the summer you can grow them, but you really want it. Like today, a friend bought some. I had a client that bought some Egyptian spinach called Molokhia, and I told her, I said, you're not going to feed a family this one plant, but in this one season, you'll be able to get a taste of it, and you'll be able to get enough seeds from this one season if you keep it going till the end of the season, till fall, to grow yourself a nice big bed of it where you can feed your family next year.
Okay.
And so that's the thing. Saving seeds can be such a wonderful
thing.
I
have seen some Egyptian seeds.
Yes, so they're little green ones. They're really cool. The Egyptian spinach.
You're right. Okay, so that's one thing I want to talk about. Like, okay, for somebody who's like, oh, I'm a baby gardener, I don't know what you're talking about with these seeds and the propagation. What's something easy that I can propagate from a seed? Because I'm like, can I just throw the seeds in the garden?
Okay, I'll have to tell. Well, first of all, it depends on the time of the year. If you're talking about summer, of course, cranberry hibiscus, roselle, even Egyptian spinach, if you have enough seed to throw it out, if you've got some decent soil, you don't want to put it in the sand. I mean, really, our soil here is not the best soil. Our native soil is mostly sand. And of course, the native plants do very well here, but there's not a lot of food. And I shouldn't say there isn't a lot of food. There's plenty of food out there that's growing natively. You just have to know what you're looking at. And I'm not a huge expert on that, but as far as cultivation is concerned, native plants don't really provide that much food. But if you can make a little bit of soil, or even buy a little bit of soil, you could definitely throw out in the summer some Egyptian spinach seeds, cranberry hibiscus, roselle. Once again, if you've got the plants, if you've got Suriname spinach, you don't need to throw out seeds. It does the throwing.
It does the throwing out for you.
Really?
Mine is doing pretty good. I've never seen it. It looks like a fountain of wealth. I'm pretty happy.
And none of these summer plants do very well in the winter. Now in the winter, the ones that are easiest from seed are Ethiopian kale, and arugula. Those are my favorites. And you could potentially, and I've done it last year, I was successful, grow those in the summer as well, as long as they're in some shade. So there's a lot of stuff you can grow here and a lot you can do in the garden. And, the Timebank is a wonderful place to find people like me, to possibly get cuttings or seeds. I'm happy to help people, within reason, with all kinds of stuff.
Speaking of which, what are some things that you offer on the Timebank currently, or things would you like to offer?
Let me give you an example of a Timebank exchange I had that was actually a wonderful exchange. So my former work, that I did for 25 years was an aircraft mechanic. So I'm pretty good with my hands, although I've kind of given that kind of work up. But I did used to volunteer at the bike co-op, the St. Pete Bike Co-op, which I shout out to that. It's a wonderful organization.
Oh, I just heard about that today.
Oh, absolutely.
So cool.
And especially if you want to learn how to work on your bicycle, that's the place to go, especially for old school bikes. But so a woman on the Timebank posted that she was given a bicycle that she wanted to donate. I think it was for Christmas, as a gift to, some charity, but that the bike needed work. It wasn't fixable. So what she did was she dropped the bicycle off at my house. I fixed the bike, and she gave me some Timebank hours for fixing the bike. And then she came and collected the bike, and then she dropped it off to donate it. So it was kind of like this three-way kind of a deal that really worked out absolutely perfect, and it was a wonderful thing. And so, what I offer on the Time Bank, I don't know if I offer that much,
What do
but
you want to offer if you have not offered what you
well,
think?
I
Because
mean,
it's usually not supposed to be something that you already do, right? We're not trying to get you to do what you do for free on the
oh,
Time Bank. It's supposed to
well,
be something you just would like to offer that you can offer because it's nothing to you or something to
I
that
offer
effect.
people help all the time, and for whatever they need. I
You're
mean,
a share and care. Is that what
so
you're trying to tell
I
me?
get. I mean, so my friend Sarah Bruya had a railroad tie that she was trying to cut, and she couldn't cut it with her saw. Needed a chainsaw, and so she posted on the Time Bank Facebook group. Can anybody help me with this? And I said, well, if you can't get anybody to help you, I'm happy to help you. And so she messaged me and says, could you help me? So I came over, and of course, I cut the little piece off, and I was happy to help her. She's a friend of mine, and that's one of the things that's great about the Time Bank, the St. Pete Time Bank, that was a little bit different than the Tampa Bay. And the Tampa Bay Time Bank, I really didn't know the people there. St. Pete Time Bank is more of a community kind of based time bank. So oftentimes you'll see people that post what they need or what they have to offer that and so it just is a friendlier kind of a thing that way. And if you don't know them, you may know of them, or you may be able to meet them. Now, of course, COVID threw a huge monkey wrench into the whole thing. It really did. And then now they had to change the website and all that, and the software, and that has definitely put a little bit of a damper on it, because it's hard to, when you're used to something, it's hard to shift.
Oh, well, speaking of which, by the way, if you're not a part of the Time Bank, just go to stptimebank.org, okay? Sign up. It's no big deal. Do the orientation. Also, not a big deal.
Yes, it's
and
easy.
then bam, you're in the Time Bank. You're in
Yep.
the Time Bank forever, okay? We're not going to shut you out.
You're never going to be shut out.
Okay.
And then you could come do yoga at my yoga class for free.
Yay!
And
I'm going to sign up. When's the next one?
Next one is tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Tomorrow morning at
Fridays
10
and Sundays at 10 o'clock. Just
oh
show up and
at the moon landing.
Yep. Well, at the beach, Gulfport Beach.
Gulfport Beach.
That's
okay, you want to give them an address?
I don't know.
Or just search Gulfport Beach. Where is it near Gulfport Beach?
So it's in the middle of the beach. There's a bathroom pavilion, and there's a big tree there, big pine tree that shades about 30 people. So if you want to get shade, you got to get there.
For the pine tree in the bathroom.
Yeah, there's a bathroom pavilion. There's free parking, steps from the class, and you're
free parking.
Free parking.
What time again?
10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
Every Friday and
Y'all
Sunday.
meet me at the moon landing yoga. We're gonna work it out.
Gulfport Beach.
Gulfport Beach. It's gonna be my what do you call it? My treat for watering early in the morning tomorrow.
And then if you really feel like it, usually if it's high tide, it's good to swim after yoga. So bring your bathing suit, and you can jump in the water and cool off right after yoga. But under the tree, it's nice. And even though it's super hot out, it's nice and shady. You said jump
in the water.
Oh, yeah.
We better check that water reading.
It's fine. It's been fine.
He said it's fine.
No, they check it pretty often. And, there have been times where they've closed the beach, but it hasn't been for years.
Really?
And there's no red tide right now. So I wouldn't hesitate to swim there. And it's not really about swimming there. It's mostly about just
wading in the water,
getting in and cooling off.
I know that's right.
And then there's showers there too, so you can always shower afterwards.
That's right. That's right.
So it's not a big deal. And then if you're interested in some plants or some information, or just to take a tour of my garden, the Moon Landing Garden in Napier, you're welcome to come to the house. I do offer honey as well. Now that you have to pay for, and the first harvest should be end of this month. And usually I do a harvest every month until the end of the year. So that's always nice to have nice, clean, fresh honey. And I call it a spoonful of Gulfport.
I know that's right. So where can they order said thing? Online? Do they have to reach out to you?
They usually have to reach out to me. You're welcome to. Should I give my number out?
Do whatever you want to do.
My number is 727-424-6743. You're welcome to message me, and we can arrange a time for you guys to come by. And if you have any questions on what I'm offering, you can do that. I also have I do marketplace ads, Facebook marketplace ads for my nursery. I probably have 12 of them right now currently, one with all the plants and some with individual plants. And then if you look at Moon Landing Yoga page on Facebook, you'll see the classes that I'm offering at the moment. Right now it's just yoga, but I'll be posting my next Garden Grandpa class, which the Garden Grandpa classes are the first Wednesday of every month at 4:30 at the Gulfport Library, and that's also free of charge as well. And anybody's welcome to come to that.
Well, I was gonna say, what are you gonna offer? But you obviously have plenty of things to offer.
So much stuff.
So just check this out. If you do anything that he said he's doing, it's at least one Timebank credit. You treat yourself. Self-log for myself and Albert. Okay. We've got events coming up. If you share them, like them, post them, attend them, support them, invite your friend, give yourself a Timebank credit. Okay. So remember, if you have any issues, reach out to me directly. I'll go ahead and drop my number because, we're not shamed over here. No. 727-421-5325. If you need any help becoming a member, getting through your orientation, or also attending one of the events, or just getting information. Like, I don't remember what you said. When was that event again? Hit me up. I got you, no problem. Also, I'll be having an event this coming Sunday, July 9th, from 3 to 8 p.m. It's going to be at the Deuces Food Forest and Sunshine Fresh Market. So we'll have local businesses out there, garden education classes, giveaways, all sorts of good stuff. You can check me out on Facebook, Ramona Elizabeth. Also, of course, St. Pete Timebank on YouTube. Just stay tuned with our technical difficulties on Facebook. You know how it is with the haters, okay? And then Instagram, Natural Vanity. Do you have any other places they can reach you at, Albert?
That's probably the best way to reach me. Facebook Messenger as well. I'm on that.
Your name? Or Moon Landing in particular?
Albert Risemburg is my name. You can do that. And then you could message me through my Moon Landing Yoga Facebook page, but it's usually easier just to get me from my number or from Messenger.
Okay.
My name.
We gave you the direct line, Gaw. So hit us up. We're excited to hear from you. We're going to be doing watering, mulching, planting, all sorts of cool stuff at the food forest. I want you guys to get involved. Make sure you check out Albert and his girlfriend Laura, because they're doing really cool things. And make sure you stay tuned for the next podcast. Who do you want to be on here? All right, let us know.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Was that good?
Yeah, that